for Mad Men Sports. It's just going to be me today. I felt a little bad just because we didn't film anything yesterday, so I didn't want anyone to go without any content. I don't know how valuable this content's really going to be either, so I thought we can just kind of maybe shoot the shit, talk about the Bills. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Some things that I kind of wanted to talk about was, do we need to be playing our starters? Josh Allen play for a half, a quarter. That'll be interesting. Ryan Fitzpatrick, diagnosed with coronavirus, will be out against the Bills. Cole Beasley, injured. Also, the possibility of Kenny Stills coming to Buffalo as well is interesting. Signed to get a couple guys to a practice squad. So, what do we want to talk about, guys? Diamond Dave. Diamond Dave's in the chat. What's up, Diamond? Dave, let us know if we should talk about why we didn't podcast yesterday. I guess it's really not our business to talk about, but what are you going to do? Let's talk about what are you drinking? Whiskey? Yeah, I'm drinking a Jack and Coke. Trying to kind of get started for New Year's Eve. You drinking anything tonight, David? I probably should have shut my bathroom door, maybe. No, let's talk about the Bills potentially sitting Josh Allen in the starters. It's my opinion. Now, this isn't Mad Men Sports' opinion. If there's going to be a competitive advantage to playing, then you should play. Tequila. There you go, man. Shout out to The Rock. But if there is a competitive advantage, then Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs should play. Now, I understand that something like Cole Beasley happened, but that's part of playing football at a professional level. So, if we weren't playing for anything, then that might be something to consider. But the Dolphins are fighting for a playoff spot. Now, it isn't as cut and dry as if the Bills beat the Dolphins, they're eliminated. No, the Dolphins could lose, but still get some help from the Baltimore Ravens, the Colts, and probably some others. So there's something to consider. And we might want to consider tying up the second seed in the AFC. Now, it isn't like what it was. We don't get a first round bye, but it does give us home field advantage. So, is that going to be something that we want in our back pocket? And it's bragging rights as well. So it's not like we're going to be kicked out or anything like that. Of course, we're going to be risking injury, but you risk injury. I mean, look at Kevin Cobb, for instance, tripped on the turf and tore his ACL. So, I don't know. Diamond, what do we want to talk about, man? I can also read your guys' chats, too, if you want to ask any specific questions. Stephon Diggs, AFC Player of the Week. Starters should play. Dave, I agree with you. So that is 2/3 of Mad Men Sports saying that the starters should play. So I think safe to say the majority rules here. Can we say Mad Men Sports endorses starters playing? I mean, why not, right? Stephon Diggs, AFC Player of the Week. I want to say that the Buffalo Bills have been kind of controlling that award. Is that about Fitz? Yeah, Dave. Really tough because they could be knocked out of the playoffs, so that could end his year. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, in the event that the Dolphins do make the playoffs via some help, I don't think that the Dolphins will lose to the Bills unless they set the starters. I mean, we could see playoff Fitz for the first time ever, which I don't know about any of you That's the kind of should I be afraid? Should you be afraid of playoff Fitz? We all know that he throws a ton of interceptions, but he's known to win some games. And Ryan Fitzpatrick being a wild card, no pun intended, terrifying. So we'll see how that goes. But no, it's tough. Someone so well respected in the NFL in Ryan Fitzpatrick, someone who has played for the Bills and has hold the Bills in high regard. It's kind of sad. I mean, I don't know, crazy world going on. So that's interesting. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about the running backs too. Stefan. I've been drinking too much. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. I want to see a heavy workload from Zach Moss. It's kind of going. Devin Singletary is your every down back, but we'll see Zach Moss in the red zone. I kind of want to see how Zach Moss performs all around. First down, second down. I don't think that we've hated him in the passing game. I will take a look to see at Zach Moss's receiving stats. What do I got here? I have to move us. He has 13 receptions for 82 yards, which for a rookie running back who doesn't see the field often unless it's goal to go, I think that's pretty well. Hannah, what's going on, Hannah? Thank you for coming in and supporting the boys here at Madman Sports. Yeah, Cole Beasley. It was very weird because obviously, at least from my perspective, Cole Beasley, it didn't seem like a serious injury at all. And I was so my focus was on that the Bills had just beat the Patriots 38-9, and we see Cole Beasley coming up with an injury. That's terrifying to me because we were all expecting and very excited for John Brown to come back healthy. Now with the possibility of Cole Beasley missing some time, he's week to week. It's not like he's day to day. It's going to be kind of scary because he's such an integral part of our offense. He is that slot guy. Not saying, and thankfully Gabriel Davis has been able to play every single position on the field that you would expect from a wide receiver. I'm talking about left side, right side, or in the slot, which is great because, like this, if Cole Beasley's not going to be able to go, then it's going to be important for someone like Gabriel Davis to step up. Or, I mean, Kenny Stills. The front office is very confident that they can get a deal done, and I think it'd be interesting to see how Josh Allen can perform with new talent. Can he plug and play different sorts of players, or is he more chemistry based? You hear for the past couple months that Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen played Warzone, Call of Duty, and things like that. Hoping John Brown can return for the wildcard game. Yes, JVT, thank you. It's going to be very important. I don't care if John Brown plays, which obviously he's not this week, but it's going to be very important because we saw what the Buffalo Bills can do when Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, John Brown are healthy. They're a scary, scary offense. And John Brown was one of our best players last year. So to couple them in a primetime game, i.e. the playoffs, it's going to be a beautiful thing to see the whole squad back together. So that's going to be very cool. I hope John Brown and Cole Beasley will be healthy. If not, I'm confident. I mean, we've seen what Stephon Diggs has done over the past couple weeks. I don't think you can stop him. I think that is a man on a mission, and he's not going to stop until we're playing in February. So that's going to be awesome. Exactly. Baltimore, and we can talk about that too. What teams really scare me? But I want to preference it by saying no teams scare me. The Buffalo Bills are 12-3. That's no surprise. But there's no question that we were one of the best teams in the AFC, comma, and the NFL. If we're not who we think we are in a Super Bowl contender, then we wouldn't deserve to be there. So there's teams that I would want to play over other teams. I mean, would I like to avoid playing Kansas City? Sure. Do I think that the Baltimore Ravens took a step back from last year? Yes. But to answer your question and to talk about it specifically, JVT, you can't. You can barely cover Stephon Diggs by himself. Couple that with Gabriel Davis, John Brown, Cole Beasley. No team in the NFL is going to be able to stop that attack with Josh Allen at the helm. It's just impossible. The Bills, I would say, have a top 3 receiving core, a top 3 offense in the whole league. No one's stopping that. We're neck and neck statistically with the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of quarterback play specifically. So, yeah, I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. Am I nervous for any team? Do I not want to go against any team? No. I think the Bills can take on any team in the NFL. And we've shown it. We've are undefeated against top 10 defenses in this league. That's something to say. I mean, we talk about last year continually saying that the Bills haven't beaten anyone. The Bills haven't had their statement win. Well, more than half of our games are statement wins this year. So, I don't know. What else do you want from the Buffalo Bills to consider them like a perennial like contender? So, I don't know. But Brown is going to be an integral part going into January for sure. To answer your second part, David, who do I want to see? I think it'd be interesting. Do I want to say an easier win? I think that people talk too much about the Dolphins. I think they hyped him up. I think Tua is a flashy player, so I think that's how he kind of got a lot of attention. But I don't see them winning a game in the playoffs, especially against the Buffalo Bills. The Browns don't scare me. I'm gonna pull up the playoff simulator real quick. I can't spell. All right, so the AFC right now, without Week 17 being playing, looks like we're playing the Cleveland Browns, which I had just said don't scare me in the slightest. It's a possibility that we'll be playing Miami, like I said, boom. But Tennessee is weird because I think we would have beaten Tennessee if it wasn't for that weird COVID rigmarole that happened where we didn't think we'd be playing at all. We'd think they would be like forfeiting, and then we play. That was just a mess, and I think that contributed to us not playing well. And Trey White was injured. Josh Allen was still injured from the LA, well, I guess it's Las Vegas. I don't know why I always want to say Oakland. But we weren't at our best, and we've improved tremendously since then. So, I don't care. Luis, I apologize if I mispronounced that, but what's up, man? Welcome. I was just talking about basically sitting the starters, or do you want them to play? Let us know. And the reason why we're doing this live is because we didn't film anything yesterday, so I thought it would be fun to kind of try something new. I think we've done one live before. I don't remember what even the scenario was. I don't know, but it was during the off season. So this is kind of fun. I kind of get to ramble. I don't know. We have 10 people. That's cool. I don't know. Does anyone else have any questions or things they want to talk about? I am totally down to talk about anything, Bills related or not. Probably. I don't know. Also, Josh Allen, MVP. Start the starters. I agree. I don't know if you were here, but I said Diamond Dave. Thank you, Diamond Dave. It's important. If there is a competitive advantage to playing your starters, then I think it's a no-brainer. Now, obviously, it'd be different if A, we had the second seed locked up, or by some happenstance we were in the first seed, or even the Dolphins if they weren't even in consideration to make the playoffs. But they are. So I think there's still too much at play to start. I mean, listen, if we're up 25, 30 points at halftime, sure, sit them. But, and if you care about that kind of stuff, records are kind of on the line as well. So I say start them. I don't know. But yeah, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything last weekend either after the New England game. So if you want to talk about the New England game as well with us, certainly feel free. I'm down to talk about anything. Just leave a comment. I have the comments up here, so talk about whatever we want to talk about. Probably for the next 15 minutes. And then I gotta go pick up some champagne if there's any left in the world. Safely with a mask, of course. But yeah. Did you guys think that the Buffalo Bills would be 12-3 at this point? If you've asked me, like, during the years of, like, Rex Ryan, if you would think if you could just hold on a little longer, the Buffalo Bills would be second in the AFC and winning the division. Also, if you told me Tom Brady wasn't going to be in the division, that would kind of say, what does everyone think about having some fans? David, thank you for bringing me that up. There's a lot to talk about, which I admittedly did no preparation, which is fine. But I think it's twofold for me. I'm very glad that for the first time in 25 years, we'll be playing a home game. Is it a little strange because it's not going to be a full stadium and the Bills thrive so much off of the fan energy? That's another thing. But yeah, I'm glad that there's people at the stand and going to be in the stands. I think Zach might be going. I don't know if I will be, but so if Cleveland's up by 3 scores. Yeah, no, that's actually interesting, JVT. And I never thought of it this way. Depending on what are the scores of the other games, if Miami is technically or looking like they're going to be eliminated, then sure, sit them. If it's happenstance, I'm not sure how it would go during the week or the day on Sunday. If we have the second spot locked up, sit them. Saying the same thing to Jake. If there's anything that much shit down, just like they did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they're up 30, what's the point? At that point, the game's locked. I mean, if they're up a shit ton, Josh probably has 3 or 4 touchdowns anyways, so that's fine. 65,000 blow-up dolls at this stadium. Yes, but I think this sounds weird, but you have to, obviously Bills fans will understand. It's a weird thing to come out of my mouth. I want 65,000 dildos thrown on the stands, unless you're not talking about that and you're talking about like fake people in the stands. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't eat lunch and this is my second drink. So that's my bad. But is it possible to have 65,000 blow-up dolls? I hope you didn't go dirty with that because that's where I went. So that's my bad. That's a Diamond Dave fantasy. We're not going to talk about what a Diamond Dave fantasy is because I think that's frowned upon by the Geneva Convention. I'm kidding, David. New Year's. What were you guys doing on that New Year's when the Bills made the playoffs in 2017? Trying to think what we did. I think we went to the airport and then we went to the Hotel Henry, me and Zach, for like a party that night. But that was like unlike any feeling that I've ever had before as a Bills fan. Especially watching Cincinnati. Like, yeah, sure, the Bills did what they had to do. But like so many other years, so many things have had to happen. And I think I was in my living room with my parents at the time, and I was just like, Andy Dalton, Tyler Boyd, who? It was the greatest feeling in the world. Crown Royal on the rocks, yes, Scott. I have some Crown Peach that I will definitely be breaking into tonight. I am a fan. With my friend, I had this for the first time in Vegas. I had Crown Apple and Ginger Ale, which is a very odd combination, which I never thought would work, but it's fantastic. But yes, Crown Royal. And actually, when we tailgated last year, we would, every single tailgate, we would bring like a bottle or two bottles of Crown, in between like maybe 20 people. We would all take a shot like 3 times during the whole tailgate. And that's a lot of fun. David, getting too private in the chat, my guy. Oh, poor David. David, how are you feeling when the Bills clinch the playoffs? Crazy. Okay. You ruined her life. Poor David. Or we can talk about stadium. Do we need a dome? Does the cold give you a competitive advantage? Because hot take, I don't think it does. I don't think Buffalo snowstorm gives us any sort of advantage. Because if you look back at the Colts game, no one, let me repeat, no one had a competitive advantage. That was a shit show. And it's not like these guys are from Buffalo, live their whole life in Buffalo. They're from Florida, they're from Texas, they're from California. They're not used to the snow. And I look at it myself too. I've lived in Buffalo my whole life. I'm not going to be any better in the snow. I don't know. That's just me. I guess I understand it to a point, but I would much rather have a dome and not have to stand outside in the cold. Yes, no dome, it's Buffalo. So, Scott, and that's what I was talking about, how I understand it. It is a beautiful thing to see a Bills game in the snow like that. But talking about, like, do you think it's an actual competitive advantage for the Bills? Because personally, I mean, I don't. I guess they do, like, they will practice outside, sure. But if the elements are bad, it's not. I don't think it's an advantage unless you have a really good run game, which in this year, compared to years past, I would say no. And to kind of build upon that as well, it seems that the Bills are super pass heavy this year. Is that going to continue for the next couple years, for the next decade? We might be focusing more on the pass than the run, so I don't know. Okay, no, that makes sense, Scott. No advantage. So there. I guess I'm thinking about that wrong. It's shitty for both teams. We would just hope that it's a little more shitty for the other team. Because I really don't think that we've ever lost a game because of the snow. Like, oh man, we couldn't get the passing game going. I guess it's historically never really hurt us. I mean, sure, we've probably lost games in the snow, but I don't think it's been the reason to why we lost. So I guess that makes sense. I guess I just don't like the cold. So yeah, that's all right. We're at 25 minutes. Do we guys want to talk about anything else? I will probably, maybe in the next 10 minutes, get off. Coach McDermott, Coach of the Year. I say yes. Yeah, yes. I hate that they're talking about Brian Flores. Sure, Miami Dolphins have had a good season. But to say that they've turned around an organization like even close to what the Buffalo Bills have done, I disagree. So I think Sean McDermott is going to be the Coach of the Year. I'm going to turn on a light. I never really thought about that it was going to get dark while I do this. So hold on. Sorry. Oh, gosh. Little technical difficulties here. Sorry about that. I just needed to turn on some lights. I'm sorry. Jake, the Bills are not the same old Bills anymore. They've got that eye of the tiger in their eyes. They are hungry. They want that Super Bowl trophy. I think they will get it. I don't know if I could agree with you more. If not now, when? This by far is the best team that the Buffalo Bills have ever had. I would say put them up against the Jim Kelly era. I mean, minus the league being completely different in terms of play style, but this is definitely, if not the same as when Jim Kelly played. There's not a better opportunity for the Bills to make a deep run into the playoffs and win that Super Bowl. They are hungry. It's got to happen. Brandon Bean, Executive of the Year, McDermott, Coach of the Year, Josh Allen, League MVP. Now, Scott, that would be the most beautiful thing in the world. Do they actually have an Executive of the Year? Is that a real award? I'm not sure. But could you imagine McDermott winning Coach of the Year and Josh Allen MVP? That would be amazing. And Dave, he's saying yes. So yeah, I can't think of another NFL exec to put a team anywhere like close to this. I would say the Chiefs got lucky getting Patrick Mahomes. Obviously via trade. They weren't supposed to get him. Obviously, thanks to us. As good, in my opinion. True. And yeah, that may have been a little bit of a reach to say that the 90s or that 2020 Bills are better than the 90s Bills. I understand that. I think maybe, do we have the capability? Sure. I think that we are definitely the closest to reach that capability than we've ever been. But maybe did I exaggerate a little bit? Sure. Whatever. Yes. Well, no, technically. I didn't know that specific stat. I definitely know that we haven't won the division since 95. Haven't been, I think, 10-3 at that point since 93. But since 1991, see, I was born in 1996. So I wasn't even a thought. I don't even think my parents they met at that point. So definitely a long time ago for me. But yeah, we're breaking so many records from that 90s Bills. I guess Stephon Diggs' reception record was Eric Mold's. But it's crazy about the amount of records that the Bills have beaten this year, dating back to the 90s. I mean, you would think that throughout the years we'd have something in the mid-2000s, but no. Scott. However, Josh Allen's trajectory seems like it'll be higher than Jim Kelly. No disrespect to number 12. Josh Allen is a generational player. I'm going to agree with you there. It's definitely going to show on the stat sheet just because they were not throwing consistently for 300 yards every week like they are now. But on the impact that this team is going to have on the league, I agree with you 100%. I do think that very quickly, if Josh Allen stays on the trajectory that he is, he's going to blow, statistically, Jim Kelly out of the water. But I hear what you're saying. Steve, what's going on, man? Just kind of shooting the shit here. Gold, you missed a lot. I guess, I don't know. Just talking, shooting the shit. Talking about whether we should get a dome, whether we should sit the starters. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I've never done this live thing before, so I apologize if I'm not more put together. Nor do I watch other Bills stuff either, so I don't really know how these lives are supposed to be run. I don't know if I should have like a order of show. I know Buffalo Fanatics does this, but I don't know. I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed talking to my phone. Yes on dome, yes on resting. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Resting. There's still a competitive advantage for the Bills to play this weekend. Sorry, my girlfriend just texted me. I get very distracted. We're still playing for the number 2 spot. If we weren't, then I would say don't play. And obviously with some help, we can stop the Dolphins from making the playoffs. And Scott says, yeah, let's get 2 home games. So I have season tickets since 2016. So I could go. No, you're good, man. Just talk Bills and your money. Facts. Thank you, Steve. Pitt is losing against the Browns. I wouldn't even go as far to say that that's a hot take. I think that's very probable. I've been saying all year, and you've been seeing those memes saying, oh, Steelers haven't won a game of importance. And I don't think they're that good, so I don't know. I think we beat them with ease. I think we had an easier route of beating the Steelers this year than we did last year against Duck Hodges, so I don't know. KSC loses, we could be hosting the AFC Championship. Now, wouldn't that be amazing if someone sneaks up and beats the Chiefs and we're sitting at the favorite to go to the Super Bowl? Which I think it's 1-2 at this point in the AFC that the Bills make the Super Bowl. If it's not KC, then who? It's us. It's my opinion. Yeah. No dome. Dome it up. I guess that's going to be... I don't think, as a Bills fans, like, collectively, I don't think we're ever going to come up with a yes or no answer to that. I think it just comes down to personal preference. The only thing that like would really, really suck about having a dome, which I would presume is having a IDP. I think that's not what it's called. I don't know. It's an independent seat license or something like that. You have to pay a specific amount of money to have the ability to purchase those season tickets. And now I'm definitely butchering the definition of what those are, but I would just know in the event that it was privately funded by the Pagulas that we would have to buy these quote-unquote licenses. And let's say, just throwing out a stupid figure here, I would have to spend $10,000 once, and I reserve the right to buy those season tickets at that seat forever, or something like that. But I think that only happens if it's privately funded, and it's a way to recoup funds if you're the owner. Baltimore is the only team that makes me concerned. Seems to be peaking a bit. As of late, yes. I did talk about earlier how I think they've taken a little bit of a step back from last year. Now, last year they were on a tear, and they just had a really shitty stance on what happened in the playoffs. And if you look over the past 2 years, Lamar Jackson hasn't been playing well in the playoffs. So without any sort of like acknowledgement otherwise, I don't see why that would change. And Gold, I mean, shit. Who cares what the fans think? If Josh wants a dome, get that guy a dome. He could be a franchise player for the next 15 years. So yeah, give him whatever you want. Give him all the keys to all of Buffalo. I don't care. Whatever he wants. Gold, we need to improve against the run, and Baltimore is the only team who can do it. I do have to say, to that point, over the past 4 or 5 weeks, the Bills have done a great job at defending the run comparative to what they did at the beginning of the season. I think KC had like 200 rushing yards on us or something close. I don't know. I'll take a look, I guess. Bills I guess actually it's kind of funny. Someone yelled at us in the comments a couple months ago saying that we look up too much stuff. I just don't like talking out of my ass because if I talk out of my ass, I'm usually wrong. Who knows? Lost 26-17. This is not going to load. Come on. I guess we're not going to find out. Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 161 rushing yards. At that point, I would say, yeah. And I think at that point I said, what the hell's going on with the run defense? And there was a couple weeks where we're just like, man, we can't stop them for shit. So I would say comparative to Clyde Edwards-Helaire putting up 161 yards against us, we've improved dramatically. But I get what you're saying. Dave, yeah, that person can take a bite of my ass. Although, you're always asking me to look up weird shit like the weather. So, what's the weather going to be like in Miami? Oh, Keenan Allen placed on the COVID list, maybe? Yeah, the reserve COVID list. You're gonna fuck the haters indeed, Scott. Reason we are outscoring teams to catch the team up, start throwing more. Not many attempts. I agree. We have gone up very early on teams that I'm not used to seeing from a Bills team. Usually, quote unquote, we're the second half team, but it seems like every week we're at least putting up 17 points in the first half. So I hear you on that. They don't need to run, but you look at now. I think the Patriots are just a mess. So this might not be the best point of reference, but they couldn't run on us, although they couldn't pass on us either. So that's probably just kind of a telltale sign saying that they're horrible. I think that the Bills versus Green Bay in the Super Bowl, that would be a game. The media, I think, would go hog wild over that because when I hear about small markets in the NFL, it's Green Bay and it's the Buffalo Bills. So I think that they're going to take it and run with it. Weather isn't weird. It's important, dog. I mean, I guess. It's just weird because we're in the middle of a conversation and you're like, what's the weather like? It's just funny. We're doing much better on run defense, but still a vulnerable part of our defense. I agree. I think the defense as a whole has stepped up tremendously. But, yes, still a vulnerable part of our defense. Still something we need to improve. I mean, I can think of facets that we need to improve up in all facets of the game, but I don't know. Sorry. These messages have my ADHD's going crazy. Fitz got that sweet and sour sniffles. No Fitz magic bailing out Tua. Yeah, that's interesting. They can't hammer down a starting quarterback. Now, and I'll be very upfront with you guys. From my point of view, from Mad Men Sports, I don't really pay attention too much to the NFL. I'm more of a Bills fan than an NFL fan. So I have to kind of do my research beforehand. And you say, hey, Jake, well, the Bills play the Dolphins in a couple days, so you should have done your research. Well, I didn't, and probably part of the reason why we didn't record an actual video yesterday. So to say that, I do know that Tua's been shaky, and when Tua's shaky, Fitzpatrick comes in, and when Fitzpatrick comes in, he gets shaky, and Tua comes in. It's kind of like a revolving door in Miami. We have this. No, tell me, Jake, why in the hell are the Miami fans talking so much shit, saying Tua is better than Josh when he's only played 9 games? I think that is part of the announcers. It seems like whenever I turn on a Dolphins game, all they talk about is Tua. And I think that it's because he's a flashy player from a big school, and they're just trying to hype him up. And I think the fans are kind of eating into that. Do I think that he's going to be good? It remains to be seen. I know it's probably not an answer you want to hear, but I don't think that he's very durable in the NFL. Probably people said that about Russell Wilson, but he's still kicking it, so I don't know. Milano in, Edmund turned into a monster. I don't know why. So, two-part I want to kind of pick apart there. Milano, when he's healthy, monster. And I think Tremaine Edmonds plays a lot better with Matt Milano next to him. Those two are very important. Matt Milano's good on his own, but I think Tremaine Edmonds is really good when Matt Milano's with him. Who's Miami's third quarterback? Didn't they just sign somebody? I think they did that yesterday. Miami third string QB. I'm looking that up now. Tua Tagovailoa. Do they not have a third string? Obviously, they'll have to. They don't have one on the roster as of yesterday, maybe. I don't see anything in terms of. I guess I could take a deep dive, but I think they'll sign someone either off their practice squad soon. I don't know. Fitz is confirmed out. He caught COVID. Yep, no Fitz this weekend. They just signed someone. Can't remember his name. Oh yeah. Okay, Scott. Thank you. I thought I saw something like that. Was that? I think that was today. I don't know. I saw that scrolling on Twitter in between, on my lunch break. That's what I can't stand. They built up to the second. Yeah, no, they definitely did, and I think they're going to continue to do that, especially with Joe Burrow out, because there's no other young rookie quarterback to talk about other than him. So I would say that's probably the way to go. Do you know who will take? So they were talking about this on WGR. I hate to piggyback off of what they say, but it's interesting. Specifically, if they don't bring anyone up or they don't sign Kenny Stills, which I think they might, but this is kind of what we're talking about. I think Gabriel Davis has been playing really good in whatever role that they needed him to play in. Dave says McKenzie. McKenzie's been playing very good this year as a receiver. If you look at him in the past couple years, he's dropped a lot of balls. I don't know this any more specifically than watching a video of Josh Allen's old receivers, and they just dropped every single ball, and I saw a lot of Isaiah McKenzie. So will he have a bigger role? Probably, but I think Gabriel Davis can step up in the slot. I know he doesn't really fit the prototypical mold. He's not short. He's not really fast, but I think that he's a great route runner. But I do definitely see McKenzie. He's that typical short, fast guy. Duke Williams. I like Duke Williams. I've said this about some other players, and it might not be the most popular opinion, nor is it the opinion of Mad Men Sports. But I've said this about Dawson Knox when he's dropped a lot of balls. I've said this about Cody Ford. It's a really bad time for a project. If you're not here to make an immediate contribution, then I don't know if I want you on the field. Maybe a couple years ago, sure. But I don't think we can afford drop touchdowns in the playoffs. I do see Duke Williams' strength, his size as an asset. Could he have that cleaned up from last year? Sure. I don't know. Definitely the coaching staff knows, so I don't think that they're going to put him in there unless they think that Duke Williams can make an immediate contribution and basically not screw it up. But McKenzie is great, and Zach has been saying this as a constant joke that Brian Daboll, Jesus, I heard someone on ESPN say that they pronounce his name incorrectly, but Brian Daboll, he's not going to accept a head coaching job unless that new team gives up a first-round pick for Isaiah McKenzie, and I think that's hilarious. Why sign someone else that's a project? See, you're right. That's true. Kenny Stills has been. I think he's a vet, and I think that's different than what Duke Williams is. I want to see like what his catch percentage is before I start talking like Kenny Stills is the second coming of Christ, which I know he's not. But like I said, I'm more of a Bills fan rather than a NFL fan. Obviously, I'm aware of who Kenny Stills is, but I'm not a stat guy like Zach is. I'm also like stupid when it comes to looking at these spreadsheets of stats. Oh, it's up here. His career 37 touchdowns, 4,800 yards. I would definitely say Kenny Stills. I mean, we're not asking him to be the number one like we would have a couple years ago. I think he can be a great plug and play. He's only 28 years old. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, Scott, in terms of signing a project player. Drops Dawson Knox. Yeah, I don't. Dawson Knox can be a very good player on this team, but he drops too many balls. It seems like the difficult balls he'll catch no problem, but the wide open passes, no chance. Father Snowman, what's going on? Happy to have you. Matthew, what's going on? Let's go Buffalo. Let's indeed go Buffalo. To both Father Snowman and Matthew, are we sitting the starters? Or are we playing them? Are we playing it by ear? If we're up by 30 at halftime? How long do you give the... how long do you give Knox? It's tough because I think that I think it's until we draft another one. Other than Stephon Diggs, we've really not brought in too many big named players. I don't think that's Sean McDermott's and Brandon Bean's style. I think they like to build through the draft. Not as easy to plug one in, but when you're part of the practice squad, it's easier. Plus, at Barkley for the second half, they have continuity. That's true, but Scott, are we looking at just against the Dolphins, or are we looking into the playoffs? If we're just talking about the Dolphins and we are expecting Cole Beasley to be healthy by the playoffs, then sure. I definitely want Duke Williams playing next week. Knox is a better athlete than tight end. True. He's very athletic. He's very strong. I mean, we're no stranger to him destroying that Cincinnati defensive back with that stiff arm. Second half, I agree. Do we know if Brown is playing? How long do you have to be on the COVID list for? He was on the COVID list because of exposure. I don't think they'll play him, though. Well, that's interesting. I could see it both ways. You want to get him acclimated again for the playoffs, and you also want him healthy for the playoffs. 3 days ago, that was before they played. I don't know. I think it still remained to be seen before John Brown plays. Apparently, thank you, 10 days for the COVID list. Apparently, yeah, I mean, obviously I don't know his history prior to Alabama, but yeah, that makes sense that Tua's never played in the snow before. Beasley will be back in the playoffs, in my opinion. Yeah, Cole Beasley, he's a get dirty kind of player. I'm just talking about getting his hands dirty. He's playing. I don't see, and even Josh Allen said, I think he's going to do whatever he can to get on the field in the playoffs. 7 days and 2 negative tests on the COVID list. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be eligible. Played in Hawaii. See? Like I said, more of a Bills fan. Need Kenny still signing to become official already. That's going to be interesting because it's been so long since we've signed a player, not needing them to make a like immediate contribution as a number one wide receiver. Like I can't think of a time in recent memory where we're like, well, we just need him to step in and play a role, not be the guy. I think Kenny Stills can be good for this team. I think, guys, John Brown is going to be eligible to play. It's going to be a matter of fact of are they just going to keep him on the shelf for the playoffs or they're not. I think he will be eligible to play. I think he's healthy to play. I don't know. I'll be honest. High school, Alabama. Yeah, no way. I think he'd be really bad in the snow. Yeah. Because normally, stereotypically, you'd want either your run game. I don't think quarterbacks running fare well in the snow. It's either you pass as a quarterback or you hand the ball off. I don't think you're going to see a lot of quarterback runs in the snow. When it was raining, yeah, it doesn't get too cold in Seattle. It stays like 40s or 50s all winter. Unless you're Shady McCoy. So yeah, no, it's either you're a running back who can run the ball in the snow, but I don't think quarterbacks can run the ball in the snow. Take one with the 4th pick. Yeah. Without Beasley, I think Brown plays first half. Yeah, I could see it both ways. You want to get him acclimated back to the team playing football before the playoffs. Or on the flip side, you just want to have no questions going into the playoffs. But yeah, I think without Beasley, I think Brown might play the first half. That's cool. I do, unfortunately, at 5:30, we'll probably have to get off. I do want to do this again. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being awesome in terms of staying up with the comments. I don't know if I could ramble by myself for a full hour, but talking to you guys is great. And I feel like this is a better way to communicate than just kind of going back and forth in the comments, just on a regular video. So this is super cool. Yeah, Beasley. Beasley is super close. I think he needs 33 yards. Damn, Rico is from Buffalo Fanatics. He's no Rico. Much better. Yeah, I think so too. I think this is. I like this. This is cool. It would be weird. I mean, let us know. We record like super late at night. We record at like 10, 11, midnight. Our regular videos. I don't think people would be really up at that end, like at that time. But I know I'm personally like willing to do this more without talking to Zach or Dave. I don't know. I can't speak for them. But I think it would be cool, like maybe once a week, kind of get on the live and just talk some shit. I know this is really bad to do at the end of the year, but we can do this all off season if you want. Only one more hour for how. Yeah. Red, we're doing it. Oh, yes, we are. Keep tuning. First time tuning in. Thank you, DK. Appreciate that. And I think I like this. Father Snowman, you're out of the EU. Fun. So I guess that will work out. Is Diamond Dave as amazing as I think he is? He's even more amazing than you think he is. Jake is God tier. Thank you, Brennan. I don't get a lot of comments. I'm pretty kind of under the radar. I let Zach and Dave fight it out. I'm just kind of there to kind of keep things on a straight and narrow path. And I do all the technical things. Unfortunately, like I said, since we record at midnight, I can't really do all the things I want to do with like editing and stuff because I like work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that kind of sucks. Luis, thank you for joining. We'll do this soon. And thank you for being so lively in the chat. We appreciate that. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for connecting us to chat. Love the opportunity to chat with those Mafia fans. Scott, thank you, and we appreciate you. We know you've been watching for a long time, and I mean, this is kind of something that me and Zach specifically, Dave didn't join us until maybe like a year later. Just we talked about the same thing when we hung out, so we thought might as well put a camera, or well, I guess a microphone at that time, and it's kind of evolved. How often do I prank Diamond Dave? All the time. It's all in good fun, though. And it's great because we're all such good friends. And I think that might be different from other Bills podcasts. I don't really know. I don't really listen to them. Honestly, sorry. I don't know if they like hang out outside of what they do podcast-wise. So I think if you think that we have a good chemistry, that's probably why. Because we hang out 3 or 4 times a week anyways. DK, if my girlfriend Hannah lets me, I might have to be somewhat tame in terms of chugging some champagne. No, but I will. Guess who's on the Bills will play wildcard weekend? Indy? That'd be interesting. I'd like that. Scott MVP. Scott is MVP of the chat. You 2 gold. Scott, yep. Let's go Buffalo Bills fans 1970. Yes. Thank you, Father Snowman. Davey, thank you. DK, thank you. Have a good New Year. No, but I will. Nice to read without a super chat. What's a super? Is that where you have to pay for stuff or something? I think that's what that is. Yeah, I'm totally new to this. Yeah, thanks. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too. And that might just sound like an empty bullshit thing, but there's times where I'm like, do I want to fucking? Because I live in Amherst now. They live like in the Tonawanda, like in that area. So do I want to drive the 20 minutes to go podcast at midnight all the time? No, but I don't know. It's tough sometimes, and this sounds stupid and cliche, but I do it because I think you guys enjoy it. So it's fun. I honestly never thought anyone would like listen to us. It's very weird that I see like, what was it? Our Patriots pregame one had 3,000 views, and I'm just like, never I thought that would happen. That's crazy. Dave, yes, I agree. We should do this more. We're chugging an entire bottle of champagne. Don't worry, Hannah. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting me. I will be chugging that champagne. Pay for a comment to be read. Scott, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Pay for a comment to be read. I've read every single comment here. I can get paid for that? I'm just kidding. I would never do that. That seems stupid. Don't get me wrong, we beat anyone. Okay. Yes. Crown Royal is the only whiskey, bourbon, whatever you call it, that I can drink straight. Call me a pansy or whatever, but I don't know. I'll just put a little bit of Coca-Cola in it. All right. Well, 2 more minutes. I got to head to Premiere. I don't even know if there's going to be champagne left. Give poor thief. Oh, shit. I had touche, Red. I do not have 4,000 people. I have 13 people. Appreciated, sure, but 10:30 here, still sober. Well, Father, if that's what you plan to be, that's fine. That's more than okay. But if it's not, then got some thinking to do. Do I like bourbon? Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur by any stretch of the means. Right now, so I had just moved 2 months ago, so I'm starting the process of like collecting things. I have a bottle of Bullet Bourbon, Crown Royal, and I think that's it. But if you have any recommendations on some good bourbons, please drop them in the chat. I would be down to try. We were actually a couple years ago sponsored by Black Button Distilling. They were out of Rochester, New York. So I had tried a couple of theirs, did some tastings and stuff like that. That was pretty fun. We actually had a like an event last year, like before the season kicked off at Black Button Distilling. That was cool. 1 foot cock from the Buffalo Distillery. A lot of bourbons. It's pretty good. I will try that. Can you get it like at Premiere and stuff? Or do you have to get it from the distillery there? But I'll definitely check it out. What do you do outside of being the maddest man of sports? I work at a health insurance company as a quality assurance auditor. I will have the boys answer that separately. I just don't want to speak for them. I don't know if they want that out in the air. I don't know. Well, if they want to disclose it, they'll put it like in the community thing. But I'm a quality assurance auditor, and then I just do that. I believe so. It's available local, but I usually get it direct. Cool. And you said it was the Buffalo Distillery. Where is that? Distillery. Oh, that's on downtown on Seneca Street. Oh, near like Larkinville. Okay, I know where that is. That's cool. Premiere should have it. I'll check. I'm going to Premiere tonight, so I'll check there. Father Stoney, that is the life. That's the life. I get what, like 40 more years left? Yeah, that sucks. Premiere is it's good. I'm so glad. Very thankful for Premiere. Especially that other side of Premiere that they have with all the fun cheeses and all the fancy beers and that stuff. I like Premiere a lot. See? Yeah, Scott. Gotta come back. It's funny. I didn't know this until recently. People outside of Buffalo don't even have chicken fingers. Goals from Mexico, too? Wow. Mad Men Sports is very global. That's so weird. Never would I think I would be talking on the internet from someone from Europe, Chicago, even in Mexico. That's very cool. That's very cool. But London, that's very cool. Very, very cool. But I'm going to get going. I'm going to be very upset if I can't get any bubbly. I'm going to be in Vietnam right now. But COVID has put a stop to a lot of things. But that's also very cool. We have the most diverse podcast audience, I guess. But I'm going to get going. This was really fun. Next year indeed. Hopefully. Enjoy. Everyone have a wonderful New Year's Eve. A beautiful New Year. And I promise we'll be doing this more. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This was Mad Men's Sports. You're going to need it after the Dolphins kick that ass. Well, I don't know about that one. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a good one. We'll do this soon, I promise. I don't know how to end this, though, so bear with me. Oh, shit. This might take a half an hour. I don't know how to stop this. Ah, yes. All right. Bye, guys.